Is it actually going? It's going? Cool. Alright, cool. We're functional. So this stream isn't really for me to do anything much in particular. I do want to see if this website's already updated or not. Nope, not updated. So something will refresh it. Is it? There we go. Now it shows up. That's cool. Yeah, this stream is just a hangout stream with some music in the background. Figured we'd just kind of keep it chill. Turn the music down just a little bit. I don't know if that's too quiet or too loud. Live chat. We won't unlist. But alright, what am I doing here? I am just chilling. We're just doing random stuff. Right now, I kind of want to learn about the Mission Holders Conference from 1982. So, we will... Just typing and talking, basically. That's all this is. Put that down there. I don't know whether or not I want to work on this or I want to work on my story. I've been bouncing around a lot, and I can't seem to stay focused on one particular thing. I'm sorry. Thought you were never in, but thought you might be from a big Scientology town. No, not from a big Scientology town at all. The nearest org that I feel comfortable protesting at so far is New Haven. But if I wanted to go to Boston, it wouldn't be that much of a difference. Welcome, Wizard. We still need to get together and talk again on another interview. Your original one was great. I'm sorry you had to deal with all that shit with your landlady. Just chilling here while I write down some notes dedicated to the 1982 Mission Holders Conference. So... Hello, Form 13. I am just chilling with you guys, not working on much important, just taking notes about the 1982 Mission Holders Conference. Yeah, just figured this would be a little hangout stream where we could just talk about whatever. Yeah, Johnny, I did have an old setup at my old house, at my, yeah, at my mom's house, but now I'm living with my fiance, so that's really all I'm willing to say. A couple different reasons. The Mission Massacre really... I know nothing about it other than... just the title of it. I mean, I know what a mission is. I know there was a conference. I don't know anything about it. So, for that... Absolutely, Marilyn. I do have plans. Well, I have plans to go back. I want to go back. I don't know when. 82 mission holders conference. Bamboozled by what? Fake Ron. Okay. But hopefully for the next protest we can get Patty again, which I don't think she'll have a problem doing that again. But I did find someone else who also protests in New Haven, and I would like to meet up with them sometime for a protest together. Yeah. Wait, are you talking about all the vacation stuff? Or are you talking about, oh, I think you're talking about the ideal org for New Haven, right? It was a nice building, and now it looks like crap because they haven't touched it. But if you have not been keeping up with, some of the news, if you don't know this, I'm assuming a lot of you probably do, that the Church in New Haven just got, they owe $40,000 in property tax for that building, and then they have another $40,000 owed by next January. So that's gonna dig into their profits a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. See if they can even raise that money. Shutting down a lot of the successful missions was probably the start of a big exodus and lack of new interest in Scientology, beginning of the end, really. Even ideal org, best pizza in Scientology. New ideal org in Memphis. Oh, they are? I had no idea they were building an ideal org in Memphis. I heard they were I think they're building one in, I want to say it's Puerto Rico. Yeah, construction in Puerto Rico. So they're trying to get that going. But I never knew about the one in Memphis. Gonna get one in Chattanooga. I know, if only it was right down the street. Make it so much fun to protest. Give me 1 second. So Ideal. I had no idea Bent Corridon was a mission holder. Um, what was he responsible for? I want to make sure that was the right book. Yep, L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah or Madman. I have it. Haven't read it. But I had no idea he was affiliated with this conference. I had no idea he was a mission holder. Someone let me know if the music is at a good volume or if it needs to be higher or lower. Anybody still here? Putting aside the mask. Oh, actually, this is something I want you to listen to quick. So SMI in 1982, that's Scientology Missions International, issued new contracts to mission holders. In the words of Bent Corridon, we were quickly confronted with new articles to sign, which would essentially take away all our legal autonomy as a separate corporation. All our corporate books were removed. About a month after most of us had signed these articles, we were called to the mission holders conference. The CMO was going to put the mutineers in their place. The GO, the Guardian's office, had intimidated individuals in private, but the CMO were going to confront a whole group of Scientologists in a noisy showdown. October 17th. Okay, October 17th, 1982. Why is that there? Didn't like that. Gary Smith, a mission holder, was sitting in the back of the San Francisco Hilton meeting, or sitting in the back with his wife and his 4-year-old daughter. He was ordered to move to the front unoccupied row. He refused and was declared suppressive on the spot just for not moving to the front row. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice that you wrote anything for him. Hold on, do I have any viewers right now? Concurrent viewers too. Okay, so yeah, I got 2 people still watching. Are you applying the tech from when you did those student hat streams? Look, I will admit, I've looked up words more often when I don't know them. Um, so that part helps, but I'm not fucking experiencing any of the physiological phenomena associated with the misunderstood word or fucking lack of mass or too steep a gradient. But I have been looking things up more, which I should have been doing in the first place. So not really anything from him. RTC has a right to send a mission directly to the individual mission holders to determine whether the trademarks are being properly used by you. This is the quote from Church Attorney Larry Heller during the event. Being properly used by you. This mission may review your books, your records, and interview personnel. RTC has the right to immediately suspend any utilization by the individual missions of those trademarks. The word immediate is the key word here. There need not be a hearing in order for there to be a suspension. RTC will order that you no longer use the trademarks and you must stop or be subject to civil penalties and ultimately criminal prosecution. Lyman Spurlock was there. He was the warrant officer. Larry Heller can catch me outside. He trying to suppress. Yo, that was one thing that my fiance had never seen before. Was the power of a suppressive. The true power of a suppressive. When we were doing our little tour with Mr. Bunker, he took us to the visitor center, the Scientology visitor center, which is in this old bank building. And I'm like, you cool if we go inside for a sec? And she's like, he's like, yeah, you can go inside. That's fine. We're about to go inside. Sea Org member steps through the door, grabs it, swings it, locks it. So, just because we were with Mark, all of a sudden, none of us were allowed access. It was so fucking cool. Carmen was surprised by it. She knew that type of stuff probably happened, but she had never actually seen it nor experienced it in person. I think by being down there and having the security watching me, because I'm with Mark Bunker, and Flag, and just all the security cameras they had around town, I hope that I can officially declare myself as an enemy of the church. I mean, after having been followed, I would like to think that I'm some kind of threat to them, which is a little empowering, not gonna lie. They hate wise beard man. Yes, they do. Lemon Spurlock, secret genius of corporate sort out, later switched on Headley's for having a television. Damn. There's a lot I need to learn about these people. So let me actually put in... Do I have Lyman Spurlock in the people category? Go to last name S. Yep, nope, I got Lyman Spurlock. So let me copy the link to the node. Go back to this. Spurlock. Insert link to the website. Oh, I could just type that in? It's that easy? So what would happen if I switched it to... Would it be that easy? No. Why do you open up on my computer? Because you're not supposed to go to a browser. You're supposed to go to a node. That's exactly what it is. Go to S. Lyman Spurlock. There we go. Okay. Alright. So Lyman Spurlock said, from now on, all missions will be corporations. There's very good reasons for this. A lot of you may know that you just recently reviewed new corporate papers. Let's see some nods. Okay. These new corporate papers are designed to make the whole structure impregnable, especially as regards to the IRS. RTC is a very formidable group of Sea Org members who have the toughness to see that the tech is standardly applied. Once I get to the next quote, I'll let you know what it was. Really? Really? You're gonna give me a freaking ad for JCPenney? Shut the fuck up. Just gonna wait till it's done and then I'll hit the volume button to turn it back on. Here we go. No ads for some bullshit. Mark Yeager, proud rocking a full head of hair at that fun fest. So, Steve Marlowe is supposedly a commander, and he's the Inspector General of RTC, says, "We are a religion, and this religion is what is going to save mankind." Get the idea? 30 years from now, someone squirrels Scientology and starts calling it Scientology because there's a lot of money to be made. Bullshit. Suddenly you have factions, schisms, all kinds of very horrible things. They will never occur to this church. Never. You have a new breed of management in the church. They're tough, they're ruthless, they don't get muscled around by the IRS or by crazy loonies. You're playing with the winning team. The IRS, the quote, "the IRS," was edited from the CMO's published transcript of the meeting. The Inspector General next accused NHs of ripping off public from the orgs. Haha, suck it. This management means business. There are ecclesiastical concerns, there are secular concerns. Violations will be prosecuted without a doubt. And we're not just here to threaten you or whatever. This is your salvation too. You just take a look at the viewpoint that someone would have been behind bars looking at the rest of Scientology. Not too sweet. We're not going to get stepped on. The Inspector General Network exists within RTC. They have tremendous information lines. They have resources that enable them to get down to the very lowest echelon of the field. And quite frankly, things will get found out about. CBR declaring TGX to be a free zone. Took me a second to remember who CBR was, but yeah, I think he's in the documents folder. Oh, by the way, if anyone does not know, I have put some resources in resources.spptv.space. I will actually give you the links. I was able to submit some stuff to a community that we know as SPTV. Someone created a website for resources. Hang on one second. Anyway, sorry about that. But no, I put stuff on sptv.space, and we gotta go to LRH Materials and SPTV Community Sourced. I'm going to put these in chat. There's one, and there is the second. So I put in the two chatbots that I've been working on. If you don't know, I've been working on a chatbot for the red volumes and a chatbot for the green volumes. Each of them has that exact set of information. So if anybody has questions about policies or bulletins, they can go in and ask. They could just be like, what quotes did Hubbard give about such and such a topic, say tobacco or cigarettes? Mainly because I was trying to find the one that condones cigarette smoking, but I think that might have been a lecture. But yeah, so I created two chatbots so people could kind of ask questions. And then under, where is it? LRH Materials, I put in flag and base orders. I put Ability Magazine PDFs. The SoundCloud of the Advanced Organization of the Great Plains. They're an indie group, but they have Hubbard's entire lecture library on SoundCloud. Or a bunch of them, at least. LRH Executive Directives. I've got booklets and volumes, so that would be where your red and greens are. I've got the whole archive in general. I've got the Auditor Newsletter Archive, and then the two chatbots. So, If you guys are interested in testing anything out, feel free to test out those 2 bots. I will say, if you're testing the bots, please read the descriptions, because the link there are the materials for you to use to be able to check the references that it gives and make sure they're accurate. But yeah. But it would be nice if I could get reported back what some of your results are, so I can figure out what the bots may be doing wrong, what they may be saying, or what they may be implying, or whatever, and seeing if it's wrong, then I can actually go into the creation section of the bot, edit a couple things, and kind of put the emphasis in the right place. But get rid of these. He accused mission holders of ripping off the public from the orgs. Yep. And he said this. Oh, we got Norman Starkey now. Secretly online at AOGP developing AI auditor. I want to. I mean, if you think about it, if this bot actually works the way it's supposed to, if these bots actually work the way that it's supposed to, it could be the best help for Scientologists who actually want to learn about the doctrine themselves. Like, maybe physically in, mentally out, or those who are just curious. I mean, if they just want to learn about how the church is run, or how auditing is done, I think it needs to be free and available on the internet. So does Guide Isana. And a lot of other people, a lot of free zoners want the tech to be available to the public, to the mass public. So I figure, if I can share the bots, maybe people can use them to find the problems with the church. Or I can find more protest points to use. So Norman Starkey announced that the legal battles of both the Commodore and the church were almost over. This was far from the truth. Hold on. Announced that legal battles of LRH and church were. But he was lying. So what else did he do? He paraded attorney Michael Flynn. Starkey asserted that that former mission holder Brown McKee, who had spoken at the Clearwater hearings, was in Flynn's hire. I still have yet to learn about the Clearwater hearings. What? Wait, which hearings? Oh, that's the one I got from Patty. Those are the ones I got from Patty. Right. I'm trying to think. How many parts were there to that? There were a lot of people who testified. Well, not testified, but spoke. Let me see if I can find exactly who did. Nope. Legal? No. Might be under videos, non-channel. Patty. Oh, 1982 Clearwater hearings. So I have Brown McKee, Casey Kelly, David Ray, Dr. John Clark, George Meister, Janie Peterson, Lavenda Von Schaik, and Lori Taverna. Michael Flynn, Paul Johnson, Robert Dardino, Ron DeWolf, Rosie Pace, Scott Mayer, Sharon McKee, and LaHart Wells. Oh, and transcripts courtesy of Arnie Lerma. Thank you, Arnie, for all the work that you did. And wait, I don't even know if you're live anymore. Arnie Lerma. He posted the Fishman affidavit. Wait, what the hell did he do? Noted Scientology critic Arnie Lerma shoots and injures wife, then kills himself. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. That's sad. It's very tragic. They tried to assassinate Flynn later on. The Scott Mayer testimony is nuts. I had no idea they tried to do that to Flynn. I learn more every day. They set up Brown McKee. He will never, ever, ever, and I promise you for any lifetime, ever again get on any e-meter or auditing in the transcript, or ever have a chance to get out of his trap. And those who are on OT3 knows what that means. That means dying and dying and dying and dying again, forever, for eternity. Vicious fuckers. I haven't listened to any of the testimonies yet. McKee had completed OT3 years prior, so well, it looks like he's not going to be dying over and over and over again. Oh, now we're got Guillaume Lasserre. Or as I've heard his name pronounced, Guillaume Lasserre. He flew from Europe to become the new ED, ED-INT. Wow. I thought it was just going to be an org for a minute. For some reason, I didn't process the fact that it was Guillaume Lasserre. I remember the name, but I just didn't remember where he was at all. He complained that although missions were sending their public to the relatively plush flag land base in Clearwater, they were not sending them into the local orgs. He found the practice unreasonable. Simply because an org was dirty was not reason enough to send well-heeled new public to it. Lasserre accused those who had written books about Scientology on sale throughout the church of trying to make money out of the L. Ron Hubbard's technology, although most of these books were copyrighted in Hubbard's name and published by his own Scientology publications organizations. So they're blaming the mission holders for everything that the church is doing. The fuck? Then Lasev issued a quota to each mission. U.S. missions were to send a total of 348 people to orgs during the following week. Was that... Okay, a total. Thank God it wasn't 348 each. There was a real threat that if they failed to meet these quotas, which were very high, something unpleasant would happen to them. Furthermore, quotas would be increased each week. Fuck. All this was a warm-up. The International Finance Director took the stage and came right to the heart of the matter. He did not mince words. So let me write this down first about Guillaume. Almost like they didn't really want people to disseminate the tech. I know, right? Weird how they have the Dianetics campaigns in the 80s and all this stuff in the early days about dissemination, and nowadays they just don't want that to happen anymore. It's funny. It's blowing back in their face. The International Finance Director saying, all right, now, collectively, you guys are in some weird ethics condition. By association, if no other reason, you have allowed the missions to go squirrel, and I mean squirrel. Right now, you guys are counter-intention on my lines. Maybe one exception in this room, but I doubt it, because you guys are sitting on public. You're ripping off the orgs. You're doing all manner of crazy things. Now, some of the guys you see standing around here are international finance police, and their job is to go out and find this stuff, crimes against the church. And if you guys are guilty of it, you've just had it. The old routine here was you got Scientology justice procedures applied to you when you did something wrong. Well, you guys are a separate corporation from the church, and when you rip off or steal from the org or bribe people, it's a corporate crime, and you can be real sure that you're going to all end up in the slammer. Damn. Who was the International Finance Director, though? The Finance Director then told the mission holders they were going to pay $75 a head for the privilege of having been shouted at, and ordered them to donate 5% of their net income to a campaign to promote Dianetics. So mission money, 5% of net income from missions was sent to Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, for their ad campaign. If I hear one person in this room who's not coughing up 5% minimum, you've got an investigation coming your way because you've got other crimes. The finance dictator, yes. Wendell something, I think. The dictator then explained how his international finance police were going to raise money. I thought that was finance director. I don't know if when I read the last paragraph, did I say international finance director or dictator? Because that just went right through. I didn't even realize I said that. He did not tell the mission holders why vast sums were needed, and perhaps he did not. Said, do you have any idea about the penalties for taking public off org's lines? It's 10,000 a head per policy. If you rip off a staff member or have a staff member working in your mission at the same time that he's employed by an org, you pay for the entirety of his training and processing, plus a $2,000 fine. If we will all pull this thing together and get these nuts off the line and actually do Dianetics and Scientology, you can go any place you want to go. Right now there's so much criminality floating through this mission network, I don't want to hear about it. If you come clean, we'll work out some reparations for all the ripoffs that you've done in the past and straighten the record. If you don't want to come clean, forget it. If you've done stuff in the past and you come clean now, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You don't come clean tonight and I find out something after this, man, you've had it. Mission holders ordered to write up overts. Subjected to largest multiple sect check ever witnessed in Scientology. Mass marriages from frickin' what's the name of the cult? The Unification Church, the Moonies. They have the largest mass weddings. This has the largest mass sect checks. Although the international finance dictator gave assurances that if they came clean, it would be easier for them. It is hard to see how it could have been made more difficult. After the sec check, Dictator Reynolds Okay, so we have a last name, we have a first name. So you know what? Let us look up Wendell Reynolds. See if we can find something. Wendell Reynolds. From one of Scientology's darkest days. Oh, they're just reading the story about CMO. They're telling the story about the Mission Holder Conference. So that's Lyman Spurlock. Oh! This is the full transcript. Oh, shit. That's fucking cool. No way. Oh, we gotta look at this full transcript later. I'm gonna copy this. Put this in a subnode called sources. Do that one. This one. What volume is that mass sec check in? I think they're referring to what's known as the gangbang sec check. Well, it said that every, I'm assuming that every mission holder had their own ethics officer they had to deal with. I don't know how many mission holders there were back during that time. But, I mean, it could have been a gangbang sec check, but then that's going to require multiple Sea Org at every table. Post the link here. Full transcript. Right there. Let me switch to a sitting position. Excuse me. Because I got a standing desk and I'm really happy because I've never actually owned one of these before. I used to use one at one of my old jobs and I fell in love with it. So, setting it to a seated position. There we go. Nice. Although the International Finance Director gave assurances that if they came clean, it would be easier for them, it is hard to see how it could have been made more difficult. After the sec check, Reynolds took the platform again and gave examples of the reparations the church demanded. The best established mission chain, the Church of Scientology Mission of Davis, or COSMOD, was to pay millions of dollars. So, give me a second, because I want to go back to that Wendell Reynolds thing. Yeah, no, that is his name. Okay, so let me put that down. In Finance Director, Wendell Reynolds. Hey Daniel, thank you. That's DM sitting the right of the podium and Rathbun all the way to the left of it. They look ridiculous. I didn't see it. Wait. Sitting to the right of the podium. Yep, there's DM. There's David Miscavige. And Rathbun all the way to the left. Huh. That's freaking crazy. I only just think of Marty Rathbun related to like how he looks now. Or most recently. It's not unusual to find Class 8 auditors in missions. Finance police would be sending out verification missions at the cost of $15,000 per day, payable by the mission holder at the start of each new day. Fuck. Right? Just defend them with your out 2D-ness. But you did level 0A and 0B, so you should be willing to talk about anything. It's auditing procedure reference. ASW News?
Hey there, independent.
Sorry, I found a... I think this... Yeah, it is. It's from AOGP. Season 7, Episode 9 of their Scientology Outside of the Church podcast talks about the 1982 Mission Holders Conference. So, you know what? I'm going to put that in my sources section for this. Oh, this one's even more. Oh, there's a lot more detail in this. It's an appendix to the Leahy judgment. The extraordinary document presented below is part of a much larger transcript presented as evidence in the July 1984 child custody case Heard before Mr. Justice Leahy in the Family Division of the High Court, London. It dates from 1982, 2 years after having run into seclusion, and marks the brutally ruthless takeover of the church by the youthful fanatics of the CMO. The malevolent tone of Miscavige and his fellow messengers was, to Justice Leahy's mind, grimly reminiscent of the ranting and bullying of Hitler and his henchmen. This is the background to the conference, compiled from a number of sources. I think this is the same thing I just... There's earlier... I gotta look through this now. Yep, we know it was October 17th, 1982. So where are we going? Let's start with the date. Lecture hall on the 4th floor. That's an even more specific thing. Door was locked and guarded by international finance police. Are you able to raise your volume a little bit? Yeah, just give me a sec. How does this sound? I don't know if this is any better or not, but I'm also probably dehydrated and tired. Even though I fucking woke up at... Big bags. I mean... Give me a second, I gotta see something. Water now. I don't want to stand up. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. I got this from a friend of mine for my birthday because I'm a math freak. Okay. For 7 hours, they were lectured, cajoled, and denounced. Verbal abuse, flash bulbing, photographing a person repeatedly with flash. Threats and humiliation were used. We weren't allowed to move, go to the bathroom, or speak unless spoken to. There were only 15 of them, and there were 100 of us. If we had gone for them, there was no way they could have controlled us, but we were terrorized. Right at the beginning, 3 mission holders who were randomly picked out and expelled right there and then. Their lives finished. Before the meeting even began, Gary Smith, who was sitting at the back with his wife, was ordered to move, refused, and was declared suppressive. Corridon said we were told that those being expelled would be put in jail. We were told to applaud, and we did. It's a sad commentary on all of us, but when you've been in the church for 20 years and believe in it, you don't want to be told that you can't do it anymore, that your friends can't speak to you because you've been excommunicated. Wait a second, I want to do something stupid. I don't know why, but this is comforting for me. Resting my fucking knees on the chair. Take the shoes off, though, still. To the ground. Back the chair up a little bit. I want to load up that transcript now. So the mission holder conferences are being held. The conference tapes are being held by you know what? I'll see if I can get in touch with this person. When are we tooling up and snagging the OT9 and 10 materials from the RPC jabronis? You just gotta wait till everything is the size of Old St. Hill. Seems like it was... Oh, here's an excerpt from the conference. Give me 1 second.
And number two is because the church has been reorganized legally and corporately, so that really is impregnable.
Wow, for a church who's dedicated to keeping the sound quality of their fucking founder alive, they clearly don't give a shit about themselves. Wonder who got sent to the RPF for this. I actually wasn't going anywhere, so what would they give a shit?
They will be around forever. Fourth corporate structure, it could have been
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
pieces, and now it can't be. And that assures Scientology being around for eternity. Next person I'm going to introduce to you is Commander Steve Marlowe, and he's an Inspector General from the Religious Technology Center. And he's going to brief you a little bit more on what the function is he's going to be doing.
God, they even did group processing. Ray Midoff. You've seen two new LRH HCOBs, CS Series 115 and 116. It's telling you how old this is. Mark Yeager. Guillaume Lesevre. Wendell Reynolds. A shark? I'm not quite sure. Original Founders Bulletin 1, Scientology, the Ultimate Implant. A hoax. So Norman Starkey said, L. Ron Hubbard's Original Founders Bulletin number 1, Scientology and the Ultimate Implant. My dear old friends, it's sort of garbage. Oh no, he said he was quoting my dear old friends from the document. And then him talking, he says, that dog is so annoying. Says it's sort of garbage here, and at the end it says your steady friend and original founder, September 1, 32. Where does it say that? There's one additional part not reflected in the official transcript. It's a brief statement by Norman Starkey telling the audience they're going to track down and punish whoever had written a hoax document, a policy supposedly from Hubbard announcing that Scientology was actually a trap being perpetrated by someone who had taken over his body. It's a riot, but the new ruthless leaders were not amused. If you'll excuse me, I have a PDF to download. That under materials, Church of Scientology. Great, now I need to add a new folder called Hoax Documents. Okay, so we got that downloaded now. I think Confident Chris saw Mark Yeager's name on an Amazon package delivered to CLO. Oh, no shit. That's cool. Tape of Mark Yeager's stepdad speaking to early indies around this time. That is pretty fascinating. I'll have to check it out. If you can find it, email it to me, ScientoloGeek@gmail.com. Wait, what? That's something new. So, remember Kingsley Wimbush? Kingsley Wimbush was the one who he had a mission chain. His major mission was on Stevens Creek Boulevard in San Jose, and was taking in up to 100 grand a week, which was more than all the other missions combined. He was alleged to be the author of a squirrel counseling procedure called de-dinging, even though the procedure was distributed by the church itself. Hold on, let me look up de-dinging now. de-PTSing anyone who was dinged, either PTS or a source of suppression. Okay, so let me put this under doctrine, auditing tech. All this dinging. Success of Winbush's deviant technique was evidently seen as a threat. He had been intercepted as he arrived at the San Francisco Hilton and was promptly dragged off to the RPF gulag. Make sure that's right. Miscavige announced. Okay, so what's the quote? Earlier this evening, both Kingsley Wimbush and Dean Stokes were here. They have both now been declared, and we are pursuing criminal charges against them. They've been delivering their own squirrel tech while calling it Scientology. Kingsley Wimbush's dinging process is completely squirrel. You won't find that in any tech, yet he has been calling it Scientology. That's a violation of trademark laws, and he now faces some serious charges for this crime. This sort of activity is not going to go on anymore. At this point, Wimbush's wife, who was unaware that he'd been bounced on his way to the meeting, got up to leave, and the tape of the proceedings records Miscavige hissing, "Declare her." Holy shit. Go back to that transcript. For most of the mission holders, it was their first glimpse of David Miscavige. Security guards never left his side during the evening. Apart from introducing each speaker, he had little to say to the audience. He merely warned them about what would happen to anyone who turned against Scientology. He said that that person's future is black. It is so black I can't even describe it right now. I can't even find the words to describe how black that person's future is. I mean, it is really black. Within a few days, some of them found out exactly what he meant. 18 were taken out to the Scientology prison camp at Happy Valley, where they joined David Mayo. So I should do an after the event category. Guess we got a little more information about this event. Extract from transcript of the conference. How long is this part? Pretty long. I pretty much got what I need right now related to this conference without just looking at the transcript straight up. I want to see what Wendell said. The finance dictator. Mark Yeager, Guillaume, Wendell. Alright, now collectively you guys are in some weird lower condition. By association, if no other reason, you have allowed the missions to go squirrel, and I mean squirrel. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the finance network has recently been beefed up, and we have an FBO and deputy FBO on post in just about every org on the planet. Deputy FBO's job, that's during this time? Okay, the deputy FBO's job is to drive public in on the orgs, and the FBO's job is to get those public serviced. Now, right now, you guys are CI, counterintention, on my lines, maybe one exception in the room. But I doubt it, because you guys are sitting on public, you're ripping off the orgs, you're doing all manner of crazy things. Now we're going in on the orgs, and we're finding this stuff. The 250,000 that Stevens Creek has regged from people who had already gone clear over the last few months. Somebody's already paid for it, and there are some more dues to be paid on that one. I'm not going to have this stuff. Now, some of these guys you see standing around here are international finance police, and their job is to go out and find this stuff, and if you guys are guilty of it, you've just had it. So are we talking the same language here now? Anybody have any doubts about this one? Okay, the old routine here was you got Scientology justice procedures applied to you when you did something wrong. Well, you guys are a separate corporation from the church, and when you rip off or steal from the org or bribe people, it's a corporate crime, and you can be real sure that you're all going to end up in the slammer. Okay, I want some dues paid on this, and I don't want these public coming into these orgs on these quotas to be the guys you're giving back having ripped them off. These are new people. Anybody ripping off comes back just as they went off the lines. No ifs, ands, or buts. No walking into an org, take the PC folders and take them up to the missions. None of that stuff. You guys are a flow up, not a flow down, and not a holding action. Now, this convention is costing the church money. You're all paying $75 a head for the joy of listening to this whole thing so you can get put into proper reality. You're all going to sign your 5% minimum CGI donation to this DMSMH campaign. Do you realize if the missions paid for the campaign as a whole, it would take you guys some 200 weeks of your current payment level? 4 years. You could never afford to do it, and yet just having in the phone book Dianetics and Scientology is going to get you a bundle of public in. You're not getting more information cards from the orgs. Nothing. You're going to get Dianetics and Scientology as a household word. And even the top PR experts available to us who've been planning this whole thing out with targets and so forth. So this thing is going to fly. And if you look at it, Battlefield Earth has been released on the same pattern as the early 1950s when LRH was a popular writer with DMSMH. Released right on the heels of it, and that put it right again on the bestseller list. And right now, Battlefield Earth is selling out and selling out and selling out again, so we got a tremendous popularity thing going, and you guys are getting a gift at 5% of CGI. It's a gift that you have to give us money. It's a total gift, he says. So if I hear one person in this room who's not coughing up 5% as a minimum, you've got an investigation coming your way because you've got other crimes in your mission. Questions on that? Do you guys have an unreality on the rip-offs that are going from orgs? Do you have some unreality on about academies being delivered in missions? Academy levels? Any unreality about people who have gone clear being kept or re-regged in the mission? There's one example of a person being regged for 52 intensives after going clear in a mission. Do you have any idea about the penalties for taking public off the org's lines? It's $10,000 a head per policy. If you rip off a staff member or have the staff member working in your mission at the same time that he's employed by an org, you pay for it. You guys are going to buy Jefferson an extra slice of pizza night on pizza night. Yeah, right? Where was I? You pay for the entirety of his training and processing plus a $2,000 fine, and that will all be enforced in addition on the mission. Wait. That will all be enforced on the mission in addition to any individual penalties leveled in a criminal nature. Is that all real clear? Okay, we're talking PT now. Whatever you had going in the past is whatever you had going in the past. Lines drawn right here and right now. You guys are going to all write up your OWs tonight before you leave, and you'll get meter checked. And I want everybody straight on yourselves and anybody else that you know. And if you don't come clean and I find out something later on, that policy letter is enforced. You are guilty of anything that you didn't report on, right per that PL. We talk the same language? Audience says, uh-huh. Wendell says, any questions? Anyone want to leave? Okay, if we will pull this thing together and get all these nuts off the line and actually do Dianetics and Scientology, you can go any place you want to go. Right now, there's so much criminality floating through this mission network, I don't want to hear about it. Reparations. Okay. If you come clean, we'll work out some reparations for all the rip-offs that you've done in the past and straighten the record. If you don't want to come clean, forget it. If you've done stuff in the past and you come clean now, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll assume that you weren't hatted or you were misdirected or something else. You don't come clean tonight and I find out something after this, man, you've had it. That's all I have to say. Audience applauds at this point. They're going to... So David Miscavige says, next thing, this is a little bit further down. Next thing is we have some MAAs over here. They're going to pass out some paper. As Mr. Reynolds pointed out, we're going to have OW write-ups and the $75 collection to pay for this thing and knowledge reports. Standard knowledge reports. So right now is the time to come clean and get a fresh start. Everybody in agreement? Audience says yes. Now the procedure... This is Wendell again. We got a stupid fly in here. Now the procedure which we have worked out for how to square the books on this whole thing is that we're going to record every point of inflow from organizations into missions. And you will do that by returning to your missions and require OW write-ups and knowledge reports from all your staff to fully document all the points of inflow into the mission from orgs. And that will be PCs, students, staff, mailing lists, people regged for mission services beyond the point they should have gone to a higher org, academy levels, anything else which has been delivered in violation of the intention of missions and that is intended to represent accurately the entire overt on orgs of the mission since the day it started. And we're going to start with the Cosmod missions in the Stevens Creek, and we're going to send teams in who will be doing meter checks at the end of all the write-ups and verifying the estimation. Do you have a question on this? Do you get what I'm saying? If it isn't fun, it isn't Scientology. You mean if it is fun, it isn't Scientology. There's factually a liability condition that exists, and in some cases, some of the missions, it is going to appear perhaps insurmountable, and yet you will find that by actually handling the overt, you will then unleash the potential of the mission to start to flow up the bridge. If we don't handle that as an overt and as an engram, we are going to be stuck with the wrong condition on the bridge, and it will not flow. So the intention is all the backlog off the line, clean the slate, and once we've got the full estimation, we will work out with the individual mission holder how that's going to be repaid to the orgs, because in some cases it is going to be in the millions of dollars, like Cosmod. It is going to be in the millions margin. Stevens Creek, we already know, it is $500,000 over the last couple of months of people who are regged after they went Dianetic clear. That is all overt. It's all going to get cleaned up. On the teams that will be going in will be to verify by meter, check the accuracy of what's going on, and to do physical universe inspections of the actual records, the past files, the PC folders, and so forth of the org. I'm sorry for the mission, and we will get all that as straight as it can be gotten. And we will reorient these flows up the line. So that is the basic orientation. We will start with those two, which are the biggest chains, and then we are going to go around the rest of the U.S., and then we're going to go to the non-U.S. We're just going to end this whole game once and for good and even the score. And then from there, it's all up line. My postulate is that everybody comes fully clean if you have mission staff. Everybody comes fully clean if you have mission staff. Like some of the mission holders said that they don't know what went on in the mission. Well, that's inexcusable. You're still responsible for what went on there, and it will be treated in that vein. So you are to go back and find out from your staff what actually has been going on in the entirety of what's been going on all the way back to day one of the mission. I just want to clean that up. Where is that stupid... That stupid bug. Where's the bug? I don't know where it went, but... So we will send in some teams who are outside and won't have mutual rudiments with the mission to assist on the meter checks on that. And if you have staff that won't come clean, they'll be ordered to flag for sec check either at the mission expense or at their own expense at preferential rates. And they'll get a full sec check until the actual scene is brought out into the open. You will find out what they have attracted certain staff who are there for the wrong reasons, who will have to be sorted out, and that is just the way it goes. But that is the basic game plan, and that is the basic way that we can win on this thing. So do I have your agreement on that? Okay, all your knowledge reports and so forth are to be sent to Int Finance Ethics Officer at Flag, and you should keep a copy of everything in the mission So that when the mission comes in to do the verifications and meter checks and so forth, they'll have the raw data as well as having a full data bank at flag. And I'm sure we'll get various and sundry things to be cleaned up, and the intention here is to clean it up. We don't necessarily like to declare people or handle ethics except where it is necessary for the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics, in which case we do it wholeheartedly. And you can just tell your mission staff, and I'm sure that you've gotten the message by now yourselves, that we're not goofing around. That this planet is a mud bowl, and it's going to stay that way unless we fix it. And the determination, I believe, is appearing in this room to make that actually happen on the organizational pattern is laid out by LRH. And the organizational pattern is laid out by LRH. So having your full support on that will be of assistance. If we don't have it, it is going to be too bad for you. So go back and give that message to your mission staff and get this thing straightened out and moving what you say. So Wendell Reynolds probably has an accent of some kind, or English isn't his first language. And you got Guillaume. Wow, so that's very interesting. Who is missing? Fell asleep for about 8 hours as of 10 a.m. this morning. Yesterday morning. Woke up at like 6-ish p.m., 7 p.m. Damn, COB, just smoke some herb and have a solo 2D assist. Damn. I actually really like that. Solo 2D. Call it one-way communication. Just give me 1 second. Wow, I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. Damn. I appreciate you for sticking around, Form 13. Let me see if some likes. I have some live chat. I might break up this video just to get the part where I actually was talking about the mission holder conferences. Or just cut it down and kind of get rid of the filler. So we did the mission holders conference. We got some sources. What other stuff should I do with it? Oh, you know what? I'll start going through the names here. Where for W? Carol. Where do I have this? Oh, that's a family name. I got Allison Carroll, June Carroll, and Kirby Carroll. Is it? No. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Maybe? Was this related to what I think it was? The Hollywood Inn. Oh no, that was the Billheimers. I wonder if I can get in touch with somebody. Let's see what he says. Can't hurt. That does work. All right, making sure.